dynasty league, I had the very first pick. And so I took CMC, and after 1 year, I was like, woohoo.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it's been like, stepping on landmines.
And welcome, a little frog in my throat. Welcome in, Belly Up Fantasy.
Bring it, Andrew. Bring it.
Belly Up Fantasy Live on this beautiful Sunday, as always. And look, we got something special for you. Right as the intro was coming in, we were getting hit with the draft has started. We're doing a live staff draft with you here with the Belly Up Sports crew. So we're going to do some quick housekeeping. Then we are going to share the screen and dive right into this because, look, we are already, 5 picks in here. That are going fast, and it's already my pick. So while I make my pick,
you're on the clock, Andrew.
Kevin, hit us with what's going on. How are you today?
TikTok, Andrew.
That's right. We're TikToking. We're here. We're live. We're happy. Life is good.
Life is good. And Chase, how are you doing? Now you're on the clock, Chase.
I'm good. I'm looking for a running back. Calm down.
Yeah.
Everybody remain calm.
So right. So before I share the screen, here's what the format of this draft is. So it's a single QB, no super flex. We honestly, us as staff members, we've got a little tired of doing super flex. We've done so many super flex mocks. We want to go back to a single QB format. So we're 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 1 flex, kicker, defense. Pretty standard setup. So that's what we're doing. It's a full PPR. So without any further ado here, I'm going to bring up the screen here so you can follow along with us live because, like I said, this thing is flying. So no surprise here. Commissioner Cooper, Jason over there with the first pick, takes Taylor. What do you guys think about Adam going with CMC right away with the number 2 pick? Because I know that's been a topic in some other mocks that we've done. Is that too early?
He's got rocks for doing that at number 2. I'll just say it that way. And if it works out for him, great. I wouldn't do it.
I just released my Panthers article yesterday, and on the accompanying video that I put out with it too for the TikTok and stuff. I said, listen, I love CMC. You cannot go wrong with him in terms of the potential there. He's absolutely electric, and nobody can score like him when he's healthy. He looks like he's healthy. At a certain point, you have to take the jump on him. I understand if people are a little shook up by him at number 2.
15 seconds for chasing the clock. By the way.
I know. I'm trying to talk about, but I understand if people are.
Got to be double jointed today. Got to be double jointed today.
I understand if people are a little bit shook up by him in the top 3 or 4, but I totally think that at a certain point you have to be willing to take CMC. The guy had the second best season of all time last time he was on the field and healthy for the full season, and I realized that was 3 seasons ago, 10 games in 2 years. But he looks at all accounts he's healthy, and he's got the best quarterback that he's played with in that time frame. So I'm fine with Adam taking McCaffrey there.
I don't hate it either. I took him at the number 3 pick in the mock we did for TSS this past week, so I'm fine with that as well. I am a little hurt there. You took my Barkley pick. I was going to take that Chase there. So
listen, Barkley owes my ass after I drafted him number 1 a couple years ago.
Well, he burned me big time. CMC and Barkley has burned me. So.
But you got to learn to forgive
and forget.
And so I'm trying to be the better person here and not completely shaft him from my rosters for the rest of the time.
I think he's a better 3rd round value than a 2nd round.
He's a great value in the 3rd round. I like his dual threat ability here, and especially, it's 2 running back league. With 2 flexes, I like flexing receivers if you can get them. If you have a top, if you can get like a 3rd top running back, that's fun to flex. But otherwise, I think that it's a lot easier to flex some receivers that have that volume. So I prefer in multiple flex situations, I prefer to be deeper on receiver than running back. So I like to have my top running backs be guys. They have to be guys.
What about Allen off the board in the 2nd round?
Mm-hmm.
That's way too early to me. Way too early. In a 1 quarterback league, I'm not doing that either.
No, I'm not either. But I'm also not going to argue with Blaine. So
Man, everyone's
He's
just
just
saying
playing
running back
so,
picks. And in the meantime, while I'm on the clock here, Justin, welcome into the show. To the look, this draft, we're already in the third round. This draft is flying.
Jesus.
Unlike the
Happy
drafts
Sunday
we've
morning.
been in the past
That's the
couple of
thing,
weeks that have taken like 20 days to do them.
We're going to finish this draft live. That's going to be the gold part about this thing.
100%. And we might even have time to debrief it at the end. So we're 6 minutes in and we're already halfway through the third
Friggin'
round. Look,
stressful though, man. Like I'm freaking out. This is worse than doing like a mock on NFL.com when it's
I'm not
the
gonna lie,
clock
dude.
because dudes are just letting it run and
yeah, no, do it. But yeah, okay, so Justin, let's see, where were
I
you
got the
picking
clock
at
ticking
here?
in my ear.
Chase.
You're 9. Okay, you're 9. So you went Henry and Mixon, and you're on the clock now. So I'm gonna let you talk, I guess. I mean, I'll let you pick, and then I'll ask you kind of what your strategy.
No,
is.
I think we should. We got 6 questions for you.
All right. So I've made my pick. The pick is in, everybody. It is T. Higgins, baby.
Too early.
Let's
Friend.
go.
That's way too early, Justin.
Oh, you got some hate, Justin. I'm gonna let this go.
And I'm wearing the Bengals shirt. So that's
Kev, that's way too early. What are you talking about, bro?
third round. Come on.
He's
You
the
could have
number
got
2
him in the
receiver.
fourth
He's the
round,
number 2
Justin.
receiver.
He's the number 2 receiver and probably the number 1 offense. Anybody ever heard of Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson? They do pretty well together.
Hey, first off,
They do,
before
but
we go
that's
any
not
further,
the rule,
Justin,
dude. That's the exception.
Is there any way you can lower your volume? You are blowing my
Yeah,
eardrums
you're.
out.
Oh,
We
my
know
bad,
you're
my bad.
excited, Justin. We know
My
you're
bad.
excited.
He had to make his presence known.
Yeah, I guess so.
My bad.
You're good.
How's this? Is it a little better?
Yeah, that's good.
that's
yeah,
good.
that's good.
That's good. So okay, so because Kevin here is the you mentioned Alan, he's the unbiased opinion that's not in this league here. Kevin, is there any? So you mentioned Alan, you mentioned Higgins. Is there anything else so far on this board that you're either surprised by or you're fully backing?
I'm kind of surprised that Pitts off the board, first tight end, third round.
Kelsey went first in the second, but
Kelsey.
Pitts went
Okay,
before
there he
Andrews.
is. Okay, so
Yeah, Pitts
yeah,
did go
so
before
Pitts-
Andrews though.
going before Andrews, I'm not buying that even for a half a second.
And I'll tell you what, George Kittle at the end of the third round here is a bit early considering what's left on the board at other positions. I feel like Kittle you probably could have gotten maybe 2 rounds later. Because I'm pretty just knowing the guys in this league, and that is a big part of when you're drafting. Part of it is knowing the people
Know
you're
who
drafting
you're
with.
dealing with. That's right.
And,
That's a
and
big part of it.
given that we work with all these guys, we know all these guys. We know that I'm pretty sure we all kind of subscribe to once you're past Kelsey, Pitts, and Andrews, it's let the tight ends fall and stack up everywhere
Right.
else. So I feel like
Yeah,
Kittle
take
could've
one in
dropped.
the 8th round or somewhere in there.
Listen, am I the rookie in this league right now? I'm the new guy, right? Compared to
Apparently
everybody
so.
else, right?
Yeah, you're new.
You're the
You're new,
newest,
Kate.
yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, now the pressure's on, dude. Now
Yeah. We
Don't screw
hate
up
to
this
put
pick.
on pressure, but that's what we do.
No, I don't think we've ever actually done a league with this group before, so I think everybody.
No, I've only been with us since like March. So yeah, clock, knock it off.
If you snipe my pick again, okay, no, okay.
No,
Because you sniped me on Barkley and then Blaine turned around and sniped me on Connor on the way back around, so I wasn't very happy with that.
Connor, I like that in the
pick in the
third.
third.
I like
Connor
that
in
in the
third's
third,
gonna
big
be
time.
huge value.
That's why I wanted
Huge.
it. That's
I like
why
that
wanted
big.
it. Oh, geez, I'm gonna do something that I'm gonna surprise myself a little here, but I want the stack with Chase. I want the Burrow and Chase stack.
Josh Jacobs was available. What are you doing?
I want the Burrow and Chase.
That's a
stack.
joke for everybody out there.
Okay.
If you've been paying any attention, Josh Jacobs was not the pick there. Should not have been the pick there.
No.
So
Take it,
Chase, so your last pick there, Deontay Johnson. Are you comfortable with him being your top wide receiver? Did you come into a draft situation viewing him as more of a number 2 receiver for a team?
I view him more as a number 2. I grabbed him because of where I think he sits on the board. I have guys ranked above him that go later in drafts, and I'm comfortable rolling the dice and seeing if I can grab them later.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Keeping in mind ADPs and keeping, like you said, knowing the guys you draft with, but keeping in mind ADPs, looking at positional scarcities, things like that. If you've got some guys that you can, just because you have a guy ranked high doesn't mean you have to take him
exactly
with a commensurate draft pick there. You can bide your time a little bit and take them closer to their ADP. If you reach a round or 2 over their ADP to get your guy, great. And plus it's your team. Do it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take a guy that everyone else has taken in the 8th or 9th rounds in round 2 or 3 just because you think he's going to be that kind of scorer. You might get the value returned for it, but
but not nearly as much
Yeah,
if
you
you taking them later.
don't screw up your value elsewhere by reaching for a guy like at a vastly crazy ADP. Coop is still sleeping apparently.
That was an auto pick, wasn't it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, no, he's there. You're right. He's there.
There it is. Well,
And it is
no, okay,
Waller,
no, he
okay.
clicked back on. Welcome back, Coop.
And then we got Justin. So Justin, you've gone. So I like the Breece Hall pick, considering you already have Henry and Mixon slotted in as your starter. So that's where I like Hall. You have him as a flex and a potential starter upside. Like I like that pick, the way he's fallen in there for you.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches right now. You guys are giving me a lot to work with here. I mean, I didn't even get to really talk about it because I was talking way too loud about Derrick Henry falling to 9. Are you guys insane?
So look, I will say I almost took Henry over Chase, but I wanted to do something a little different here. I am kind of regretting it now because I'm not loving the running back landscape that's left for me for RB2. So I am having a little buyer remorse. I wish I had taken Cook or Henry there.
Take some dart throws.
Well, that's what I'm gonna. That's my plan now. If I'm being honest, to I don't want to give too much away here because we are drafting against each other for a league here. I'm probably gonna end up sleeping on a bunch of running backs here and stack up with some high risk guys down the road.
I think you should give us all like 4 people you're targeting.
That's right.
Blaine and I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Justin would never miss a. Actually, no, not so much Justin. Cooper would never miss an opportunity to try to take a pick of mine as well. Blaine misses his pick, and he gets stuck with Antonio Gibson in the 5th round.
Oh, no,
that's a brutal one right there. I'm not gonna lie.
What an auto pick, Blaine! What an auto pick!
I know that's a rough auto pick.
He's laying in the weeds, laying in the weeds for us.
That's straight to the outhouse with the door locked.
All right, here's one of those picks out. Let's talk about this. I don't love this one. I gotta take a chance here. With the potential upside.
Quick. Okay.
I'm going to Justin San Francisco 49ers. We just talked about Elijah.
We talked about him last week.
We talked about him last week. I think the needle is pointing. It's going. Oh, the arrow is going up on him with the Trey Sermon news, and that's maybe getting a bit more cleared up there. I'm hoping now that I have him, it gets cleared up a bit more. I don't love it, but he could be a good RB2 for me. In this,
you gotta like the upside.
Well, the upside's there, and I was honestly going between Elijah Mitchell and AJ Dillon there. So Chase, I'm not surprised you went with the homeboy.
I am because I'm not big on him. I love Dillon as a player. I'm glad we have him on the green and gold, but I think reports of Aaron Jones.
All right, Justin, my Metcalf.
Yep.
Yeah, there's DK Metcalf. So T Higgins and DK Metcalf.
Hey,
so
if he slides to the 5th round, why am I not going to pick him?
Oh, sure. 5th round is a perfect spot to take him. I get that.
Justin's counting on Garoppolo getting cut.
No, I'm counting
so
on
is Wilson.
So what do you think about Geno Smith targeting him downfield? I'm not too comfortable with that.
No, because he doesn't throw downfield. I'm actually
he doesn't.
That right
but
now.
then again, the other quarterback throws 3 interceptions in a preseason game, so you can't be feeling too good about that either.
So
like I said in my article that's coming out this week. In fact, it probably come out later today. But yeah, there were no winners in this quarterback competition for fantasy purposes. No. But by all accounts, it does sound like they feel comfortable that. I mean, Smith's been there for a couple of years by this point. He knows the offense better than Locke, and they said that he's been taking care of the ball, and that he's been making good decisions in practice. And that's the thing. I mean. The fact that he does not throw downfield and can't really throw downfield. Now he's not last year's Ben Roethlisberger. He's not Cam Newton, but that hurts from a DK Metcalf standpoint and a Tyler Lockett standpoint, but it actually might help their running backs. He has a tendency to check down. And if he's going to check down, then that might bode really well for Rashad Penny. And
I really
Kenneth
like
Walker.
Cook. I like that pick, Justin. That's a major upside value in that
pick's
round.
A great pick. Cook's a great pick.
Yeah, I like the Cook's pick. So before we go any further and follow this draft, we are going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor here, Manscaped. So come back, and then when we come back for the break, make sure you stay tuned. We'll be announcing what the giveaway is and how you can enter to be part of this giveaway. So we will be right back after this quick words from Manscaped.
Fellas, the fantasy football draft season is right around the corner. CeeDee Lamb is good, but have you seen these beautiful balls? It's time to get your snake looking right for this snake draft with sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with the Performance Package 4.0. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the promo code BellyUpFantasy. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Tom Brady didn't come out of retirement for you to have hairy balls. So slot it at the quarterback and get 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BellyUpFantasy at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BellyUpFantasy at Manscaped.com. It's time to put the PP back in a PPR league.
And here to model what Manscaped can do for you is Kevin Wilson. Kevin, take it away.
Well, I can personally speak to their the get the hair out of your nose. It's an outstanding product. All right, so there you go.
I love it. I love it. So yeah. So as I mentioned before, and look, we already got some entrants. And
Oh,
they didn't even know.
man.
Oh, Chase, did you make that pick or was that auto pick?
No, I made it last second because he's in my queue.
Oh, okay.
That's not a bad pick, Jace. In that round, I'll take him.
I like Devin Singletary. I think people are way
overblowing.
I think people are way overblowing what James Cook is the effect.
I
that
think
James
they
Cook
are
is gonna
too.
have on
Right from
Singletary.
the beginning, I've thought that they're
love
making
James
him
Cook as
out
a
to be
player.
his brother, and he's not that.
I love James Cook as a player, but I just don't think. I think Singletary showed at the end of last year he has got something for this team, and I think he's going to have a decent year. And plus, you can't go wrong getting a share of that offense.
That's right. Sure
Well,
can.
as I mentioned before the break, and look, we already have some people jumping into the YouTube comments who don't even know that they've now entered into a contest.
Excellent.
We are doing a giveaway here. What we got for you from Pristine Auction is we have a signed Dennis Smith from the Denver Broncos throwback jersey, signed, authenticated by JSA. We'll be giving away next Sunday morning show. And the way to enter that is join in on the comments. Leave a comment on the YouTube video of this show. Leave a comment on the Twitter. If you're watching us on Twitter right now, leave a comment on the Twitter post. Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Just comment.
Comment on YouTube. Comment on
Bring
Twitter.
it. We're bringing it. You bring it as well.
Not just on this show. Comment on the Tuesday night Belly Up Fantasy Live show. Comment on the Wednesday night Belly Up Fantasy Live show, which is going to be kicking off this week because we are now in week 0. We are starting our regular season scheduled programming for the Belly Up Fantasy Live show. So comment on any of this week's shows. If you comment on multiple shows, it doesn't increase your chances. We're just going to pick one comment from the shows, and we'll announce live on next Sunday's show who won the jersey. We'll get that out to you. So make sure you interact, jump in the comments, and we'll try to interact back with you as we go through this amazingly fast draft.
What are we doing?
I gotta tell you, Justin,
man, for real, this is.
I gotta tell you, Elijah Moore, love it.
So I did want to bring up somebody's team here because I find it interesting. So can someone tell me who is C. Jones? Who? Do anyone know who is that?
That's Jones.
I've seen him.
C. Jones.
No.
I've seen him. I've seen him text and stuff, but as far as where he lives, I don't know.
Well, because he's kind of taking a unique.
We're kind of depending on you for that one.
Okay, sorry. So he's taking a unique approach here, though, which I want to get your guys' opinion on because he went. Oh shit! I'm on. Oh no! Hold on.
You can do it.
That was such a rush pick. Okay, I don't even know how I feel about that, Kenneth Walker there, but that's.
But yeah, so
okay.
You turn your back on your own player to take my guy. So, what was your thoughts? You know, you had a Patriot running back at the top of the list, but you didn't take
Damian Harris. Oh well, Damian Harris at the top of the list. First, I've been down on Damian Harris all offseason.
Okay, me too.
Are you one of those Ramondre Stevenson fans?
As a
I like
Patriots fan, I like both players as a Patriots fan as players for the Patriots. From a fantasy standpoint, I think Stevenson will have the most value out of this backfield.
I agree with that.
I don't
100%.
like any of them because the biggest problem with the Patriots offense right now in the training camp and in preseason is the offensive line is not grasping the new offense and they are not running their block schemes correctly. So the running backs are taking a hit. Mac Jones is being rushed and not able to do. And let me be clear, they've dumbed down this offense, this new offense they're putting down. It's a simpler, dumbed down version, not because the players can't handle it. Mac Jones can handle it if they let him run an offense similar to last year. They're dumbing it down because their coaches suck. Matt Patricia and what's his name? Well, I can't even remember his name. I'm blanking on his name. But Matt
If you
Patricia.
don't know his name, then we surely don't.
I know his
right.
name. I'm just blanking. I'm just blanking right
C.
now.
Jones has been listening. He took Stevenson.
Yeah. But Matt Patricia.
Well, there you go. So he's obviously listening to us. Somebody's listening to us. So there you go.
But Patricia's become the main offensive caller for the Patriots now this preseason. And look, they've had to simplify that offense so that he can call it. It has nothing to do with the players being able to run it, and it's cutting the players' knees out from under them. And this offense is struggling. I don't want any piece of any part of the Patriots offense.
Fair enough.
So that's why.
We have like 67
Fair
rounds
enough.
left, and no one's left.
Good answer. But to go back to your question, that I don't like all these wide receivers.
So
I'm not
For
big
who?
on this at all. And his running backs, he's going to have a problem.
For
yeah,
who?
so I'm not a fan of Ramondre Stevenson as his running back 2 and David Montgomery as his running back 1. Like that's an issue for me.
You should like Montgomery, but in that offense, I don't.
He's got Jefferson, Lamb, and Evans, Judy, Smith, Schuster. I don't know. I don't see what's wrong with his running back, with his wide receiver core.
Well, there's nothing wrong
his
with them.
receivers
There's
are
just too many of them. That's my point. There's
He's
too
got
many of
5 when he can play 4, but I mean, that's, hey, nothing wrong with having a surplus. Plus, we haven't even reached week 1 yet. It's not like he can't. There's Cook. It's not like he can't swing a trade if he, feels like
sure.
it. He's got time yet. He's got great wide receiver depth. He's got some guys that could absolutely go.
Well, I'm
off.
sure, but you can't depend on what you're going to trade and
no, you
someone
can't.
wants to
But at
do
the
it.
same time, you got to take what value you find on the board. Apparently, he's got Stevenson and Cook ranked higher than we do. So, but I love his receiver core.
Well, his receiving core is perfect. And while we're on the subject of running backs, how are we feeling about the big boss man Mike over there with his RB1 being Travis Etienne and Miles Sanders bringing up the rear as the RB2? Is that something you guys would be comfortable doing?
The 5th on that,
No,
dude.
not.
Same thing. His receivers are solid.
I would be much bigger on Travis Etienne if Robinson wasn't going to, because we all thought earlier in the summer Robinson may not even play, but he is headed to playing from week 1. And that's going to sap both of their fantasy values. You got to like it if you're a Jacksonville guy, which makes I don't know who that is, but
which makes it interesting that Etienne was taken in the 4th round and Kamish was just able to take James Robinson at the start of the 9th round. So that value for Robinson is so much more preferable.
At the 9th round.
Yeah, I'll take that value any day over what you had to pay for Etienne in this specific draft.
And Etienne may well be what we thought he was going to be last year, but they're going to sap each other, and I'm not big on that at all.
Yep. No, I agree. I'm still a James Robinson fan. I was saying earlier in this offseason, I don't think it's going to pan out that way now. It seems like they're both going to stick around in Jacksonville, at least for the time being. But it wasn't going to shock me if Robinson had ended up on a different team and being a very good starting running back.
I've never understood that since they drafted Etienne last year when they had Robinson already. I've yet to hear an answer to why they did that.
Yep. No, I 100% agree.
There goes Harris.
About Doug Peterson's offense, too. He's only had 2 running backs go in the top 30 in one season once. So, I mean, they pretty much kill each other is what I'm trying to say. They cannibalize each other's touches.
Right, because he had 78 of them in Philadelphia. So,
but Peterson's going to be good for Trevor Lawrence. He'll be a lot better than Mr. Chop House was.
Chase, you or me could me at Andrew or Kevin could step on the field and be better than Urban Meyer.
Absolutely.
At least at the pro level. The man knew what he was doing in college, apparently, because he's around college kids all the time.
So this is a good interesting topic here now because we're just finished the 9th round and Uke is the first one to take his 2nd quarterback in the single QB league. It was Aaron Rodgers. Do you feel like that's too early to be taking a 2nd quarterback in the second format, or are you
absolutely
fine with that?
Absolutely in a 2 quarterback or 1 quarterback league? I'm not down with it.
So I'm assuming he was trying to pair Rodgers with Lazard there in case.
But he's already got Lamar.
Yep. Well, no, I know. So and I would say looking at his, well, he's only got 2. See, so here's where it would be iffy for me, where I wouldn't have done it right there, is because he still only has 2 running backs. So I would struggle taking a second QB that early in a single QB.
2 running backs in fantasy football is death.
And I think he might have missed out on getting Melvin Gordon as his third for
Melvin Gordon. I like his potential a lot.
I like Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I was hoping Melvin Gordon came back around to me here.
Yeah, if you can get him this late in the draft, that's a home run pick to me.
Why am I froze up?
That was a good pick by Phil for sure. Look at this. So we're gonna put this comment up right here because
then we got Justin taking his first quarterback, and that's a great pick, Justin.
Yeah, Kirk. I love that Kirk Cousins pick. That's a fantastic.
You're bringing it.
Trying to get some money, Kev. You know me.
Is that what it is? Is that what's happening here? Okay.
C. Jones trading Mike Evans.
I'm not gonna lie. So here's what I just questioned a second quarterback already, but look, I took a second quarterback there because I didn't love what the value.
I had no one else to do.
I didn't love the value I was getting at the other positions. I didn't really need another receiver there, and I didn't love what I wanted Melvin Gordon at running back there, and then Chase took Brian Robbins. I would have considered taking him too, but at that point, I'd rather take Carr as a backup and then see because I think most of those guys are still going to be there that I would be interested coming back around in the 11th or later.
We'll have to see how that works out for you, because then, yeah, this whole round is. It looks like you've got 2, quarterbacks coming off the board all the way around here. So,
I mean, to be fair to Andrew, he's got everything else pretty much lined up for his starting rotation.
Right.
So he's going out there. He's getting the best value as his QB2.
Exactly.
He's a little afraid that Joe Burrow is not going to have all the weeks that he had.
Yeah, Joe Burrow is going to be fine.
Joe Burrow himself will be fine. Yeah.
And here we go. So 11th round now. Commission's the first one to pull the trigger on a defense. He goes with the Bills at the 11-1 pick.
Come on now.
That's going to feel real bad when they're like the number 8 defense.
You need a comment and defend that pick. Defend it.
But here's what I'm not surprised. If you follow his kind of pick pattern so far, on that first pick of the turn, he's taken, a pick that I don't want to say that makes sense, but because that sounds like I'm degrading his pick, but he tends to, on that second pick, he tends to reach because he wants. Seems like he has a plan. He wants to make sure he gets the guy he gets because he knows it's going to be, another 24 picks or 12, 24, however the math works out till it comes back around to him again. So look, I get it. With that second pick on the turn, you take a reach on someone. I don't mind the strategy. I would have maybe waited one more round.
Taking the kill at the back end of the second round. That is. Come on now, that's great value. I know he's a Miami guy and everything, but at the end of the second round, you got to like that.
All right, so here we are. As you can all see who I'm looking at. See, all those running backs are still there. All the wide receivers that I was considering are still there. I'm actually all right with that.
Russell Gage.
I'm gonna take a tight end here. I'm gonna go Gesicki. Gonna jump on a tight end. I plan on getting a couple more though, so I don't have to put all my baskets in.
I don't know. There's a tight ends that's got better value than Gesicki.
So I agree, but once again, with the value at the other positions that I think were left there, I'd rather take the shot at Gesicki, who I think has some upside, higher than some of the guys sitting here. Like, so for instance, the guys that I was looking at, like as far as the running backs available right now, I think Gesicki's got some more upside than a Rashard White, than a Ronald Jones.
The running backs are thin at best.
Yeah, and honestly, the wide receivers are still pretty deep.
Receivers, you don't be taking wide receivers early in this draft. I don't think, because you can take them later.
Well, exactly. That's why the wide receivers is still very deep right now. So that's why I figured let's start to fill up my tight end position and go from there and see. So we got in the Isaiah Pacheco pick is nice because I think he's on the rise there.
He just sniped me, to be dead flipping honest with you.
And
he's got 2 pretty good late running backs. He's got McKissick and Pacheco.
I was just going to bring that up because we were talking about how we only had 2 running backs before, but now to follow it up with McKissick and Pacheco with their potential upside and the value he got them at, I don't hate it considering where the rest of his team is.
Yeah. I like what the potential of McKissick. I like him better because Gibson, I don't know. He's either not going to be that good or he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing certain in this offense is McKissick is going to get touches.
That's right.
He will. Yeah,
he will get touches. He'll get the dump off passes and all that sort of thing. So that is great value right there.
100%.
I do agree. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really sure what I want to do here. As you
Take a
watch.
kicker. It's been popular lately.
So
Russell Gage.
I am not going to take a kicker. I'm not right now.
Don't be taking any defenses either.
I might because I just I'm taking a defense. I'm doing it.
Oh,
I'm doing it.
remember, folks, he's not really a fantasy football expert. He just plays one on the internet.
Once again, though, look at what I really need help in right now is running back more so than receiver. And like I said, receivers are deep. There's still like a good handful of guys that could easily play a flex role on this team this year for me. So the running backs that are right here right now, and there goes the defense run now. Yeah,
it's a run. In the
so you know what?
I'm
all right. I'm all right that I took a defense there, considering the run came right after that.
Oh, but there's no difference in them.
Because Chase has been talking about Landry all preseason, so he went ahead and dove in there.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mind. I don't mind the Landry pick. I think that's good value.
No.
He's their possession receiver in that offense. Everybody else is a giant home run threat if Michael Thomas can get his ass on the field finally. And Olave, I think that Landry is the stick mover. He's the 7 catches a game for 90 some yards, might fall into a touchdown kind of thing. I mean, Landry is a possession receiver. He'll do well underneath.
I would like to get him maybe one round later, but can't hate it.
No.
Yeah, I don't mind. I honestly don't mind it there at all. It makes sense. And I'm looking now real fast. So you got Landry in the 12th round. Chris Olave went in the 9th round, and Michael Thomas went in the 6th.
9th round for Chris Olave. I would take that every single day.
Oh yeah, I was looking at Olave, and that's who. So because I took Woods in the 9th round, I was hoping Olave felled me there. So I definitely thought that was a good pick by Mike.
I think people this year, it was such a hyped up receiver class this year.
Yes.
I think it's made us forget the fact that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those guys are the exception to the rule.
Yes.
We don't necessarily see rookie receivers come in and dominate
very hard
like those two. It's much easier for a running back to come into the league young. Plus, they only play for about 3-4 years anyway at running back, on average. It's much easier for a running back to come in and contribute early and be a legitimate factor, both in your real offense and in fantasy. I think people have way overblown the impact that these receivers are going to have this year. But that being said, gall darn, there's a lot of talent out there, and you never know which of them is going to be this year's Chase.
Getting it in the 9th round. Definitely like that.
All right. And now I am gonna take a nice little pick here.
Okay, let's see what you're doing here, Andrew.
I like this Jahan Dotson pick here, rookie wide receiver. You know, I like the potential, especially considering he's a bench player. He's not even a flex player for me right now on this team. 13th round.
I would have taken Gage over him.
No,
I do not need.
I'm not on the Gage train. I'm not
on the Gage train. Okay.
You sniped me. I was hoping he was going to come 2 picks later.
Oh,
nice. Finally, I sniped somebody else.
I do not need another running back, but
that's not bad, Chase. I like that.
It's a good pick, but I've already got 38 running backs in a
value, right? That's the thing.
To be fair, you also have a lot of receivers.
That's true too.
But you're set up with some good depth. That's solid. You're gonna have options week in and week out.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to withstand injuries, and even more importantly, you could have some good trade capital as well.
At some point, the tight end's got to come into play, though.
Well, eventually, yeah. You gotta have a dude.
See, you gotta
have a roster filler. When I missed out on Andrews early,
I'm fine taking later on.
Yep.
I mean, I took the one tight end, but like I said,
if you miss out on the big 3 or 4,
it doesn't really matter.
It's all a freaking roll of the dice at that point, anyway. I know I will not be taking Hunter Henry. Sorry.
No,
I like.
He should have a ton of value in that offense, but he doesn't excite anyone.
No, he could have a ton of value, and he'd have probably more if McDaniels was still there. But now we don't know who's running the damned offense.
Yeah,
neither do they.
There should be a lot of value with him, but I'm not taking it. I'm not
gonna lie. All the local beat writers up here, every single day after practice. It's the same thing every day. This was the worst offensive practice I've ever seen in 20 years of covering football. But every day's worse than the last. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And these are
supposed to be
respected
getting
guys.
better as you go towards the season. I think that's how it's supposed to work out.
I'm taking a kicker. Why not? I need one eventually.
I got reasons why not, but I'm not. Yeah. I think I've already said that.
But
12 times this show.
But to Justin's point earlier, when it comes to my team, I'm gonna make a run on some running backs here because I just need the depth. But I have everything else pretty much filled out, and I just need some depth now. And I'm gonna end up having to reach for some running backs that I want as depth pieces because like the guys at the top of the board, I'm not really interested in, honestly.
Oof. That's a lot of cut candidates right there.
That is a lot of cut candidates. That's why I'm not very interested.
There's a lot of candidates you shouldn't let on the field to begin with.
I can't.
Jamal Williams and
Zamir
Zamir White. Jamal Williams, Zamir White, Tyrion Davis-Price. These guys. Deontay Foreman is going to be CMC's replacement at some point
like
this year.
Deontay Foreman. I do like him.
And he's going to get more of a role during the season.
Oh, yeah. He was by far the best of that clown car they rolled out last year in Tennessee after
100%.
King Henry got hurt. He was by far the best one that they had last year. There we go, Coop.
Someone just takes Zamir White. Damn.
Yep.
He was the one that I was considering taking there instead of Bucker. I thought he might be able to fall down a little bit more, but that was a misstep by me.
Just don't take Kenyon Drake.
Don't make the miss. Look, so here's fun. So, do you remember the first time you drafted a fantasy football team? Like, can you guys remember when that was? Because I know
I do.
The first time I did, I remember we were sitting in my buddy's room drafting from a magazine, and just crossing guys out of the magazine. And I remember it was like my first time ever playing any type of fantasy sports. I drafted a receiver who had retired like 2 weeks earlier, and I had no clue. And I can't remember which receiver it was. It was an Oakland Raiders receiver. But he retired like a few weeks earlier, and I had no clue. And I drafted him, and everyone laughed at me, and it was fantastic.
My first fantasy pick ever was Terrell Davis, and about 12 minutes later, he blew his knee out and missed the rest of the season. I'm not even kidding you. From college.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
First pick ever in fantasy. Terrell Davis blew his knee out. That kind of set the stage for the next 25 years.
I love that Alec Pierce pick.
Yep, that's a decent pick.
That's another guy.
At this point, that's a good pick. That's a nice pick.
That's a great pick, right?
Surprised that past LaRue. Adam's huge on Alec Pierce.
Yeah, that's a good call.
He wanted the defense on that team more, apparently.
Obviously.
Come on.
It's not me, right?
No.
Okay.
Now it is.
Now it's me. Okay.
Clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's see.
Trey Sermon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Tell him, Justin.
Go for it. You know, Justin's got his finger right over his name right now. So.
He's right there.
Beat him out. Beat him out.
There you go.
That's not a bad pick. If Swift misses any time, Williams has been a viable fantasy running back starter in the past.
Well, and he's useful even with Swift in there. They still use him. So as a fifth running back on this team, I'll take that as a fill-in spot, bye week or injury, whatever needed.
I don't necessarily like taking a second tight end, but
with Alberto as your tight end,
I have some high hopes for these dudes.
Yeah, you need to do something right here.
I like Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, bro, that's a good pick too.
I really like Brevin Jordan.
He's got some potential to break out.
Well, they use the tight ends in that offense too. They haven't used them to their full potential in the past, but they do use them. All right, and coming up here, so right after this last pick here by Dan Mader over from the MDF fantasy show, we're going to go to one more break, our last break of the show. We're going to hear from the guys over at True Classic. So stick around with us. We'll be right back after this to start the 16th round.
Support for today's episode comes from True Classic. This brand new sponsor has the absolute best fitting t-shirts a man can buy. Finding the right t-shirt with a little bit of a dad bod is incredibly frustrating. Most t-shirts are either too tight on your gut or look way too big and boxy. You're not in high school anymore, and it's time to upgrade. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men finally get a better fit at an affordable price. our listeners get access to the best deal they offer. For a limited time only, get 20% off with the promo code BellyUpFantasy at TrueClassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six-packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Fellas, you are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt you can always confidently throw on. True Classic doesn't just stop at tees. They are your one-stop shop for men's essentials. Super easy and simple to fill out your wardrobe. From polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs designed with a pouch to keep your bulge nice and comfortable. All their gear is top-notch quality at reasonable prices. It's about time you learn how to dress yourself properly. Upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic and get 25% off at TrueClassic.com with the promo code BellyUpFantasy. Free shipping included on purchases over $100 and 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day return policy. Stay classy with True Classic. Your dad bod will thank you.
Now to recap, coming back from break, Dan got nervous going into break. He took Sony Michel as a panic buy. The 19th running back on that roster of 27 running backs should be behind Myles Gaskin as well. So, yeah, Dan, I know it's late, dude, but no, I don't like that. I don't like that pick. Sorry.
And I will say a pick that just went down, Isaiah McKenzie in the 16th round.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
Jones. That's a great pick there.
Yep.
That could be fun.
Kelsey getting KJ Hamler. Those are
that's a good spot there too as well. So, and I also went with the second run tight end approach there. Chase, so you're not alone. I picked up Gerald Everett because I think he's someone that is gonna could easily pop into the top 10 tight end.
That's a great pick right there in that round.
And he probably could have dropped.
He's a starter
for me because I don't think Gerald Everett is
get a starter that late in the draft. You gotta like.
Well, Gerald Everett isn't really getting talked a lot, so he probably could have dropped to the 17th round. But I wanted to make sure he got him because I like Gesicki, but
we talked about him last week.
Exactly.
I like that value. 100%.
I do too. So I was happy with that. Now I'm going to have one pick left here. And look, we are. I joked about it at the beginning of the show, but when Justin said we were going to finish this draft during the show, and he's 100% right. We only got 6 picks left here. And I'm up right now, actually. So we're actually going to get an opportunity to debrief this draft live on the air with you guys here. And we've got one more pick here. I'm going to take a risk here. We're going to hope that maybe he finds some magic left in New York with Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, let's hope. I have a share.
The magic dust is dried up.
Let's be honest. If needed, I would have no issue dropping him. So
okay. Well, anybody you take in this round, you should have no issue with dropping any of them.
Exactly. That was a strictly upside in case, the way I see that, I got Galladay 4 rounds later than Jahan Dotson. If Jahan Dotson comes out the gate slow or doesn't turn out to be what he's expected to be, and Galladay does kind of return a little bit to form, I'll take that and just flip-flop them.
Nice pick in the last round, Justin.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Gus Edwards.
I'll tell you what, Justin, you've been killing it on this draft right here.
Yeah, I do like your team, Justin.
Do we have IR slots in this league or no?
I don't think so.
I'll put some IR.
And there it is.
Come on,
now
Justin,
that I drafted a guy who's on the show.
IR slots.
Now that he's drafted a guy on the IR slot for a month, he's like, oh,
yeah,
maybe we should.
IR spot. Let's have 3 of them.
That's going to benefit everybody. Right?
No, it will. It will. You can stash Gus. You can go.
You can't have a fantasy football team without IR spots.
Well, you can.
These guys will be blown out their knees by week 3. So.
I've been in some rough leagues.
Yeah. So we did finish up the draft here, and I want to take a second here to kind of look through and see if there's anything that stands out.
Let's see.
I will say this is going to pain me to say it, but I'm a fan of Commissioner Cooper's team here. Taylor and Hill up top. I don't love the Elliott picks. I'm not big on Elliott this year, so I think that
in the 3rd round, I'll take him in the 3rd.
So, and that's where, in the 3rd round, I get it, because we've seen what his upside can be if it somehow clicks back again for him. But even if it doesn't, I'm high on Dameon Pierce. I'm high on James Robinson. we've seen what Darrell Henderson can do if he is going to have a role there with Cam Akers and whatnot. So like I like his depth as a whole, especially given his
and Watson down there if he can learn to catch the football.
Yeah. So like I like his depth as a whole, especially given the upside that he has at each position. So that works for me. And yeah, like we were saying, I do like Justin's team as well over there. Obviously, super high end running backs, and you still manage to get a bunch of high upside receivers as well. So that's a fantastic.
Got a lot of upside
turnaround for you. Yeah,
Claypool is one of those polarizing figures this year where everybody's like, oh, he's either going to suck and Pickens is going to take his spot, or everybody's like, he's 6'4", he's going to bounce back. So yeah, Claypool could return great value there late, like you got.
And with that, like a lot of people were joking around saying that Claypool in the slot was never going to happen. He's running out of the slot.
Guess where they're running him exactly.
Yeah,
and 6'4",
and Jameis Winston that late could pay off big.
Yeah. So I do, not to pick on Chaser, but I do want to hear his reasoning behind Drake London there, considering St. Brown, Thielen, Juju, Thomas, Robinson were all still on the board. I honestly like all those other receivers ahead of London.
I like Allen Robinson a lot.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like Drake London, but I like the value of the other guys you could have gotten.
I will tell you right now that at that spot, I was considering St. Brown. I was considering Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
But I have Drake London ranked really high.
Okay.
Being the guy who said I think we're putting too much stock in these rookie wide receivers, I just think
20 minutes ago you said that.
Yes, and I think that Drake London is going to be an absolute target sponge in that offense, and I think people are underplaying Marcus Mariota's abilities as a quarterback. I really do. He's not Seattle's quarterback situation. That's for damn sure.
No,
well he's definitely better than that.
And I know, and everybody's like, well, what about Kyle Pitts? What about Kyle Pitts? They're not going to throw the ball just 120 times and give them all to Kyle Pitts. Somebody else is going to have to take targets there. Brian Edwards is a decent second wide receiver coming over from Las Vegas, but I think they put so much stock in drafting London High. He's really the best talent they have there in the receiver room now that Ridley's on suspension for being a jackass. I think Drake London is going to be an absolute target monster this year. I've been beating the drum for him all off season. And so I was very comfortable, very happy taking him there. Plus I tried to get some guys late that have upside.
So just to have some fun, because if, like I said, I get your logic, fully understand that. And it's smart to stick to your rankings, your guns, and you did the research. So that's what you should be doing. I
would say just that he might be there when you pick in the next round.
That was going to be my question to you, Justin, and you, Kevin. How far do you think London would have dropped with the way that we now see this draft, the way this draft went? Do you think he would have dropped a round, maybe two rounds?
He would have been there at least another round later, to me.
Yeah, I mean,
at least another round.
Chase for jumping the gun, but I think Kev's absolutely right. I think he would have at least lasted another round.
So so you could have wound up with one of these other receivers and him.
And that's a good point. I don't necessarily see anybody between London and my next pick that I liked better than him at receiver. I like Dameon Pierce. Like I said, I was considering St. Brown. I was considering Smith-Schuster. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is not getting enough play this offseason.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
He has been a great receiver before. He's playing with the best quarterback he's ever played with now, and he is the number one on that team. I know everybody wants Sky Moore to happen. I watched MVS over the last several seasons as a Packer fan.
Don't do that.
Juju Smith-Schuster is the dude on that team from the receiver standpoint. It's going to be him and Kelsey in the receiving game.
Nope, I do agree. And to the point of taking guys early, I do admit that I did take Patterson probably a round or two early. So I wanted to get your take on how far.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he would have been there later.
So my reason for taking Patterson there, which I did feel like was a little bit of a reach, at least with what was on the board at the time, was because like I said, I'm not 100% confident in Elijah Mitchell as my RB2, and I'm not necessarily confident in Cordarrelle Patterson having the season he had last year. But the odds are up that one of those two can be a serviceable running back too. In this situation, so I had to kind of play the odds in that situation. So I felt like I reached around early.
You kind of have to have one of them hit because Walker is your next up.
Here's what you're hoping for. Yeah, you're hoping that Mitchell is still Eli Mitchell and doesn't fall victim to the 49er backfield quicksand. But Patterson early in the season, just like last year, and then Walker coming on late would be giant for you.
Yeah, that's look. Like I said, I should have. I do have buyer's regret. I wish I had taken Cook or Henry with my first pick instead of Chase. I was trying to do something different than what I typically do, and I see why I don't typically do that because
the only problem I see with Chase,
I'm going to be honest. I'm not comfortable with my running backs at all.
Yeah, the only problem I see with Chase is he's not consistent. As great a season as he had, if you look at his stats, he had games where he had 2, 3 or fewer catches, 6 of them, I believe.
So he's a better Tyler Lockett.
Research right. And so, if you have a chance of taking Jefferson or Chase, I'm taking Jefferson every single time.
So I'm gonna say, Andrew, looking at your team, I like everything you're doing. Elijah Mitchell, as far as the quicksand of San Francisco, he got 80% of the touches last year. There's no real quicksand when he's in there. What it is that he hits a brick wall, right? Because they run him into the ground.
Right. And did he get 80% of the touches last year because he deserved 80% of the touches, or did he get 80% of the touches because Mostert got hurt?
No, well, I mean, he got 80% of the touches. You're absolutely right. He filled in for Mostert, but Mostert never got the job back.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's why he's in Miami. Maybe
when Mitchell came back.
And that's where I'm hoping that if Elijah Mitchell, comes out hot, but then he does, like you said, they run him to the ground, and he hits a brick wall. Hopefully by then Kenneth Walker has found his feet in the NFL. Hopefully by then maybe Patterson is it's a lot of hopefullys and a lot of ifs. And I understand the risks I have now taken at running back, and I'm not excited about my running backs, but I'm hoping the rest of my team can fill the gaps.
Justin, who's number 2 running back on San Francisco? Since we're talking about their backfield, who's number 2? Is it going to be Wilson?
Jeff Wilson. Every report coming out, Jeff Wilson is number 2.
I like Jeff Wilson.
Wilson, you gotta like Wilson. So.
Are going to be like
that's in-depth fantasy analysis right there. Anybody named Wilson, do it.
Just go.
I'm gonna get you a Jeff Wilson jersey. I'm gonna see if you'll wear it, Kev.
If you send it to me, Justin, I'll put it on.
It'll say Wilson Senior though, not Wilson Junior.
No, we don't want any seniors. Okay. No.
So is there anything else that kind of went down in this draft that is standing out to you guys as far as a guy going early, guy falling, or the way anyone constructed their team that's different than what you've been seeing in this type of format?
I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering about these guys. I'm not sure who, B Bills and D Cowboys are. Who are these guys?
Oh,
man, I can't believe how early a lot of us took defenses and kickers. Dudes, there's just not enough difference.
No,
if we had a defense premium
I could take a defense maybe with a couple picks to go, but I'm not doing that.
The earliest I would ever take one is with 3 picks to go. I can't justify doing it in any other. Even I wrote about it in my Ravens article earlier this week. Justin Tucker is. I don't think any of us would argue Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the entire game.
Yes.
This year, and he was not the kicker number 1 last year. But there were dudes taking him in the 10th round, guys taking him in the 9th round. Why?
That's more insane than taking a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Because at least you're getting 300 some points out of your quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, and quarterbacks are almost as interchangeable.
You got 27 kickers you can pick from. No,
right, and they all miss shit, and they all hit stuff every week. In my opinion, taking defenses and again, you look back at the history, the number 1 defense taken generally does not end up number 1. And there's no reason for me to jump on a defense or a kicker before the last 2 rounds. There's no reason for it. Exactly. There's just no reason for it.
And
I'm not sure.
Kind of like tight ends. There's always somebody that you didn't expect in the top 5 that's in the
sure.
That's right. Just
so
like Schultz from last year, there's going to be a guy that's going to. You're like, where'd he come from?
I'm hoping I stumbled on one of them here. So is Duck.
Yeah, I mean the major difference between number 1 last year, Nick Folk, and number 10 last year, Dustin Hopkins, was 14 or it's about 24 points.
Yeah, that's a point and a half a game.
Yeah. It turned out to be just under 2 points a game difference on average. So if you're taking your kicker early,
You're talking about a difference
Yeah,
of less
that's
than
not-
2 points
yeah.
a game for multiple rounds of value, where you could have gotten Eli Mitchell at that spot last year. You could have gotten those Cordero Patterson last year. You could have gotten
That's
those
right.
guys right there. There's always room. There's always more room for a dart throw.
Yeah.
Take the kicker and defense last.
Or, yeah.
So Justin, we're getting some comments. Apparently, there was some confusion. Some guys thought this was a best ball draft. And one of the YouTube
Excellent.
comments is saying that under the impression it was best ball. Oh, here, I'll just put up. I think this is Mike. I think this might be Mike coming from the Belly Up Sports account. That under the impression it was best ball draft, took defense and kicker earlier than usual, so that he had time to get 2. So
so it was.
That's where it goes. To say, know
Check your settings.
Know your league. Know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me where it was it was a 2 quarterback league and I didn't know it, and all of a sudden now I got no quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
And then I
Now
don't know.
you're trying to pick the most likely
Me
backup
is
to
that,
play.
Commissioner Cooper ripped me the first mock draft we had because he didn't think it was a super flex. I'm just like, dude, check the
Check the settings. It's right there in front of you.
It's
That's
literally
right.
click the button for team and you get the whole breakdown there.
Right?
I mean, how are you supposed to figure out if you need 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, all that type of stuff? You know what I mean?
That's what
Always
I'm talking about.
Cooper, I don't want to hear any trash talking from
No.
you. I gave your team kudos.
Commissioner Coop,
use
if you're
it.
going to talk trash, you need to be live doing that. All right.
No, that's not fair because I was talking trash in the comments on the TSS show Friday night. So
Well, it's pretty safe to say I would have had some comments myself if I were on that. So.
Oh wait, did the draft? Okay, now I'm getting confused. Justin, people did the format of the draft change halfway through from Best Ball to Classic?
No, it changed after because everybody's like, I didn't know this was best ball. I didn't know this was best ball. So I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm switching it to Classic. It happened at the very end. I switched it to Classic.
At the very end of the draft.
At the very end of the draft.
Okay,
so this redraft and best ball, pretty much the same thing. You're going for that 1-year wonder type of thing. Nobody's really going, oh shoot, I should have picked Donovan People-Jones two rounds earlier because it's best ball. Like,
Don't rip on DPJ, man.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a decent year.
Well, still, like the boys over at Hilo Sports say, you can blame me for the run on the defenses. Yes, Coop took the first one, but I apparently started the trend there in the 12th round to
waterfall, man. Yeah.
Shame on you, Andrew.
Shame on me for starting the defense run. But look, that's gonna do it on this draft for us here, and we're gonna wrap this show up. And as always, we want to hear from the guys about what they got, and what they got coming up this week. Because look, it's week 0, as we were saying. The season's getting ready to start, so we get a lot of content coming out. These guys, all of us here, all the guys in this league are the writers and the ones behind the content. So, Justin, what do you have coming up this week, leading us up into week 1 of the NFL?
Well, I woke up feeling dangerous today, and I woke up and I just went ahead and wrote an article and published it. It's 5 running backs that I'm looking for in later rounds. I made it 5 running backs I'm rushing to get. Haha. But anyways, so it's loaded with guys that I think have more value than the guy you're picking right now. One of them is Darrell Henderson. I think he's got more value at running back 41
than he does.
Has at running back 20.
Absolutely. I agree.
So there's a lot of other guys like that on there. And also, as usual, TSS is going twice a week right now. We're going 5 times a week in season, and Dynasty Brews is on at 10 o'clock on Thursdays. We are always bringing you your Dynasty news and some good information for you guys to know going into your drafts.
No, and that's definitely an article you should go and check out, the Justin wrote, because that's definitely information that could make or break your season when it comes to drafting. To find those guys late in the draft could be a big difference. So definitely go Belly Up Fantasy Sports and check that out. Kevin, baseball is coming. It's fantasy playoffs now, right? Are we into
there's 1 week left to go in the regular season. And so I have an article that was posted just on Friday that talks about these players that are universally unowned that can help your fantasy team. And I caution about, don't let some guy that's unproductive drag down your fantasy team so you don't make the playoff. Cut those guys and add mine. It's on the Belly Up Fantasy site right now. And so you can go over there. And of course, as you said, we're getting ready for the season. And I'm going to be having articles going out that's going to have your waiver wire pickups, the top waiver wire pickups. I'll be on that. That's been what I've been doing for the last 2 years now, or whatever. So that's my baby. So you can look for that to start coming out not this week, but next week. And all these shows that you're talking about, if somebody needs a fantasy guy, just contact me. I'll show up. And so it's an exciting time. So belly up, get over there. Belly Up Fantasy, get over there. Check out our stuff. It's very exciting. It's going to be an awesome season this year.
Man, definitely some good stuff to look forward to there. And Chase, who's been hitting us with a ton of team reviews. What do you got?
That's
coming
right.
up?
Chase has been bringing the power.
I got more coming out. I'm working on a Seahawks one that should drop probably later today.
Nobody needs to read that. Okay.
No, everybody needs to read that first off. So listen, don't try to drag us down.
Don't
sorrow.
draft the Seahawks.
But I've got a Seahawks review coming out probably later today. I had 3 or 4 come out this week on other teams: the Ravens, the Vikings, the Panthers. I'll have updated rankings coming out this week now that the preseason is officially done.
Yes.
We're past the meaningless, quote unquote, meaningless games. Meaningless for most of us, not meaningless for the guys who are playing in them. Actually had to play in them. But yeah, check me out on Twitter, STT Chase, FFB. You can find me on Wednesdays for the Belly Up Fantasy Live weekly preview coming up here. Most Sunday mornings, I'll be right here too, still with you. So, keep tuning into Belly Up Fantasy online and on the podcast network. Check out the guys at TSS. Check out the guys on the baseball show. Check out Divots and Pivots. Take a look because there's good content all over the place.
Yes, and like we said earlier in the show, I'm going to grab it one more time. Leave a comment in the YouTube. Leave a comment on the Twitter of this show, of the Tuesday show, and the Wednesday show. Any of those shows, just leave a comment on one of them. We will be picking from the comments to win this.
That's right. A productive comment.
Yes, the signed Dennis Smith throwback Denver Broncos jersey. We'll be giving that away next Sunday on the morning show. So make sure to leave a comment. Yes, and as always, you can find me at Real Mr. Mallard as well. I will be having finally my rankings will be coming out this week. I'm going to have a Patriots fantasy preview as well. And then check out the Divots and Pivot show Tuesday nights live at 8. And big news coming up for the Divots and Pivot show. If you are a golf fan, we will be out this coming weekend, Labor Day weekend, at the Live Tour event up here in Boston. So we got media credentials. We will be out there talking to some players. We will be bringing some live content. So make sure to check us out for that weekend. We're excited about it. So check out Divots and Pivots. Check out all these guys. Check out Belly Up Fantasy Sports. We are in the home stretch, bringing you into the season, and we are excited. So it was a great show. We loved you guys as always, and look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night, Belly Up Fantasy Live. Have a great one, guys.